In this video tutorial, I'd like to show you how to install the mailchimp-autoresponder-reports tool on a fresh Ubuntu machine. So I just did a clean install of Ubuntu 14.04 and will now go through all the steps necessary to complete the installation. First, we should make sure that we have our system up to date. There is a one-liner. All the command lines I'll enter here will be linked in the description below, or the GitHub open source project will be linked in the description below, and you can read the installation guide for Ubuntu 14.04 server there, and all the steps are explained there as well, with the commands which you have to enter. So first you make sure that you have your system up to date. I will copy and paste this command, which will basically update the sources and upgrade all your packets which you have on your machine. Give it the password so it can update everything. That looks good, so I don't have any updates to install. If you would have to install any updates, you would have to prompt here. You will be prompted here and answer yes, and everything's will be done for you. The next thing we're gonna do is we will install all the dependencies, which would be Apache 2, PHP 5, MySQL Server, Git, wget, and curl. So just have to enter this line and say, okay, I want to install all of this. Answer yes, I will want to install all of this, and Ubuntu will do everything for you. You could also grab the package manager, grab the packages out of the Synaptic package manager if you like, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll just give one command line. So the new password for the MySQL root user. In my tutorial, I will just use the password root as well. Of course, you should choose a safe and secure password for your installation. But since this is just a virtual machine, I can afford to use a simple password. So when all the packages are installed, I'll do an installation in my local home folder. Just give it a second to install all of it. I will switch to my local home folder, which will be here, and get the source code from GitHub. So I will just do a git clone and get the mailchimp-autoresponder-reports package from here. So that was quick. We will now get the dependencies for the MailChimp autoresponder reports. The dependencies will be PHP Excel and some MailChimp class, which allows me to access the MailChimp API very simply with the help of PHP. So I will go into the MailChimp autoresponder reports and vendor directory, and I will create a directory named Craig Bellinger and get his PHP MailChimp access class via GitHub as well. So that was fine, and now I will create the PHP Office directory. And clone the PHP Excel dependency to this directory. Okay, now we have to fix a nasty bug, and we have to rename the directory so it's all written in lowercase. So that we don't run into this bug. Okay, the next step will be to set up the database accordingly. I'll go back to my home directory and connect to MySQL with the user root and provide the root password for MySQL, which I have given during the installation process. The next, I will create a new database for mailchimp-autoresponder-reports tool. I'll just name it mailchimp-db. I'll create a new user. I'll call it mailchimp. And set the password to MailChimp as well. You should choose a secure password here. Let me point this out. Okay. I will grant all privileges to this new user, enter database mailchimp-db. Set the new privileges to take effect. So, and now I'm done. I can quit MySQL, the MySQL prompt. What I will now do is I will go into the Mailchimp autoresponder-reports directory and take a look here. There is the init database SQL file, which will allow me to create a fresh database for the Mailchimp autoresponder tools. So to import this, I'll just say MySQL with user Mailchimp, which we just created, providing a password, and we'll connect to MailChimp-db. This should import the init database SQL file. I'll provide the password for MailChimp, the user MailChimp, which I've just given, which happens to be MailChimp as well. And now I can verify that stuff worked by connecting to MySQL with the user MailChimp. And I will have a look at the data definition language of the table which we just imported, which would be mcdata. So this looks good, and I will just exit the MySQL prompt. So now we have to carry on and configure the application. First thing we want to do is to configure the database, which we just created inside of the application configuration. So I'll choose Nano as my editor of choice. Application config database PHP. I'll just go to. You can have two sets of database connection. If you provide your URL where you run the software here, you can enter your production settings, database connection in this section, and your development database settings underneath. Since I'm on the development environment here on localhost, I'll just choose the development section here. So the host name will be localhost, that's okay. The username will be MailChimp. password will be MailChimp as well. Once again, please choose a secure password if you're not on your local development machine. And the database will be MailChimp DB. Okay, so we can leave this, save the changes, and have the database settings configured. The next thing you want to do is to provide your MailChimp API key for allowing the MailChimp autoresponder reports tool to access your MailChimp data. So please get your MailChimp API key from MailChimp. There is in their FAQ section you can find how to do this. Right now I'll assume that you have taken a look in the link in the description box, where I will put the link for how to get the MailChimp API key. So you have gotten your or generated your MailChimp API key and can proceed now. Okay, so you have to put the MailChimp API key during under application config PHP. Go down to just search for MailChimp should be at the bottom of the file. Yes. Here you have to put your MailChimp API key. I'll just provide a fake one, so you have to put your own in here. Okay, so that's just a fake one to show you how it would work. The next thing we're gonna do is we will link the MailChimp autoresponder installation directory to the web server's directory, so the web server can actually run the MailChimp autoresponder application. So in my example, I will just link this first directory, MailChimp autoresponder reports, to var www.html mailchimp, which will make it available at localhost/mailchimp. Just in case, I'll restart my web server. And I should now be able, I don't know if it works since I've provided a wrong MailChimp key actually. Should now be able to call two URLs. So this is the first URL which will update the database. So you have to run this URL once a week to let MailChimp autoresponder reports tool collect the data from MailChimp. And so this is the URL which you want to call via a cron job. And when I now open the browser and run the update db command, it will go to MailChimp, fetch all the data of my autoresponders, and write them into the local MySQL database. So this command obviously is what we want to do with the help of a cron job. So we enter cron tab. We will look inside of the cron tab, choose the favorite editor for editing the cron tab, and you will have to provide the cron tab line. Basically what this will do is every Sunday, this is, I'll highlight it, the 0, so every Sunday during the 23rd hour and 55 minutes or 11:55 p.m. it will call this command and update the database. I'll recommend it to do it once a week, so you get the week-over-week performance of your autoresponders. So just put it there, save the cron tab, and you should, when you enter cron tab -L, you should see the command here, and it's automatically run every Sunday at 2355. So if you let it run for a week, and you now go inside of your browser and you want to get the export, you just call the get export command and you're good to go. You can now open your it will yield an Excel file which you can open, and you'll be able to track the performance of your MailChimp autoresponders. Thanks for watching. If you've got any feedback, just write me an email or visit my GitHub site for all of the details. Thank you very much. Bye.